All right, movie and TV news time here on Lights Camera Barstool. Date is September 4th, 2023. Jeff D. Lowe alongside Ken Jack and Gooch coming at you talking about, we're talking theater chains today and a bunch of other things, but some great news for those who are clowning on Regal as of late. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you know when new videos come out. We're dropping a bunch of stuff throughout the week, reviews, different drafts, rankings, our movie picks of the week, all that and more, multiple news and trailer segments. So make sure to do that and like this video, like all our videos, helps us out big time. Let's start out with Regal though. Regal, in response to, maybe splice it in here too, Gooch, just so if they're not Regal goers, they can see what it was.
The ad? No, people will shut the podcast.
Let's give them in case.
Go look it up.
For those who have been forced to go to Regal, let's give them a taste.
Hey, you guys!
It's not a man purse. It's called a satchel.
You can't sit with us.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
We are forced to go to Regal, though you used to go to Regal willingly. You sick fuck.
Idiot.
You sick freak.
That's going to leave a mark.
So in what was very clearly
our original LCB intro, except it was us speaking the lines. You know what I mean? Like it was our 2017 intro, except just them doing it.
It really is no different than our podcast intro, except, they have millions of marketing budget. Regal, in response, for those who have not seen it, very clearly in response to Nicole Kidman's AMC opening, did a version of their own, but did like the cornball cheesy version where it's just people speaking in only movie quotes, but like some of them don't really work. I almost
none of them. like one in Jesus, they're terrible.
It's it's clearly done by people who are either have only seen like 15 movies or they had 2 days to do it and they're like, whatever, just that's it. We just got to go with it. It was bad, but they got rid of it apparently.
Terrible. And someone, the girl that leans over the counter and is like, which is nice. Someone tagged her in our, when we posted about it on Instagram, someone tagged her and I clicked on her. She's not even an actress. She's just an Instagram model that they just stuck in the ad.
And they also they started putting the movie quotes on their popcorn buckets too, but they only put one quote, right? There was just one quote on all the buckets. What was it again? It was,
I took a picture the other day. And the person behind the stand caught me taking a picture of it.
It actually it would have been kind of see, that's actually not bad. Putting movie quotes on the buckets and drinks. I mean, in the end, who cares?
That's fun.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes, which I don't. I was so when I got it the first time when Gooch dragged us to Regal for our screening of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. I was like, okay, this is first of all, again, who cares? It's just buckets of popcorn. But if you're going to do something, at least it's, it's kind of cool.
Makes sense.
I was like, there's got to be more quotes. No, there's just one quote. There's only one. It's not like a series of quotes. Because even if you do that, you would think that, these struggling theater chains, they'd maybe pick up some money there. No.
It's too much ink.
The girl that goes, "Hey, you guys," when coming to the theater, that's my least favorite out of the whole group.
It's that couple. That couple reproaches you at the bar. You're just going to kill yourself on site.
It's just terrible.
It's not a man purse. It's a satchel. It's he just cosplaying. He's just cosplaying as Zach Galifianakis.
That's the thing. It would have been creative if they would have worked in some maybe, off the beaten path quotes, maybe some hidden gems, but it's just memeable quotes from the last 30 years, but it's 15 of them, and that's kind of it. And they don't really work.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, here's what I am going to say. Tom Cruise, clearly a Regal guy, or at least has been before. Regal has the chance to do something the funniest thing ever. They really do. If they have a competing ad with Nicole Kidman's AMC and they put up Tom Cruise, that will be hilarious.
Him eating that popcorn is the best advertisement for Regal that I've ever seen. It made me want to go to Regal in the midst of telling people how much I don't like Regal.
Or if they got Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman would be a great pitchman for movies. Like if he just came in, like they're both like him and Kibben, very charismatic people. If he just came in and was like, "Oh, I fucking love movies," I'd be like, "Yeah, me too, dude."
Just get the dueling Australians.
Yeah, like I don't hate the idea of theirs being funnier and like stupid and not as serious as the Nicole Kidman one, because the Nicole Kidman one in the end, like it worked, but it definitely was mocked. Like it's made fun of, but it's worked.
And it wasn't meant to be funny.
No. So like, I don't mind that Regal wants to do it. It's also not like they're like, it wouldn't be stealing an idea to have their own famous person. It's a spokesperson. Yeah. Every company's been doing that for 100 years. So it's like, yeah, why not get their own? No, they picked a bunch of nobodies speaking in movie quote for it's just annoying. The Nicole Kidman thing is like, in the end, like it was dumb and corny, but like right immediately it was like kind of fun to sit through. The Regal one makes you want to leave the theater. Like it makes you, it's so annoying.
Do you all remember what they had before?
No, dude, because you don't go to Regal, asshole.
They had like this roller coaster thing.
The roller coaster, the roller coaster between the snacks.
With the Minions.
I didn't know the Minions were in it.
Oh, there was at least a version for a while that had the Minions in it.
Regal
was hilarious.
For a long time. The Regal had like the roller coaster, and that was like, it was fine. AMC always had like going through like the ticket land, like the ticket strip, or the film reel with like the film reel mascot, and they had like tickets and popcorn and stuff. But no, Regals, I never seen because I didn't go.
It was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
Cinemark has the best. First of all, Cinemark's popcorn's the best. They got the Cinecat. Sorry, go ahead, Ken Jack.
I remember when I made that original intro for LCB and stitched together those movie quotes, it took me like 5 days to put together a section that like was so small. Like that whole intro took all of like 30 seconds max of an entire intro clip. It looked like they maybe put an hour of effort into it. Like they just like looked up the top 100 movie quotes and just didn't even really try to stitch them together, because the lines don't make sense. Like it's not like call and response quotes. It's just randomly thrown together.
They BuzzFeed list, one list from ranker.com, and then an IMDb list, and that was it. That was like, these are our sources.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, the news gets worse for Regal.
Oh, but don't forget, folks. I got some for today.
Oh,
folks, the Regal pre-roll is bad. So bad that I'm not sure which video launch is worse, that or the SS Challenger. One had bad O-rings, the other is just really boring. Gets only worse from there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it does get worse for Regal. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, the biggest star in the world right now, who our good friend of the program, coworker Kirk Minahan said the other day on his show, and I would definitely agree with him, is he said he never really thought there'd be any star. And people love to say like, oh, XX is the, not like Charlie XCX, like blank person is, like they said about Bruno Mars, like this is the next Michael Jackson. They're as big as Michael Jackson. Taylor Swift is on that level. Like Taylor Swift is one of the very few human beings to reach that level, like Beatles, Michael Jackson, like
Drake,
love or hate it. Love it or hate it. Taylor Swift, like I don't think you could find a bigger, especially American, like star in terms of music. What she's done with her concerts, bananas, and she's only reinforced that with her deal with AMC to release her Eras tour. The big tour's going on. That's going to be still going on a year from now. In the United States, after she returns from Europe. The Eras Tour film in theaters debuting October 13th. It broke the AMC record for most pre-sale tickets in the first 24 hours, beat out Avengers Endgame. That's insane.
I think that's the craziest stat. That's
crazy. Insane. It also moved the new Exorcist movie. The Exorcist movie moved off its opening date because it was going to get bodied out of AMC theaters by the Taylor Swift Eras Tour film. Is it a movie? No, but cool way to get people into the theater. Hopefully there's some residual there. Hopefully it bounces back and helps out AMC. The AMC, the CEO of AMC, Adam Aaron, he posted like a selfie from the Taylor Swift concert, like with her parents, I think. And then he reposted again, like he's like, it's like, now you know why I cared so much. That guy's just flexing left and right. Regals, and what's Regal's response? What concert do they show?
Oh God,
don't even want to know.
They go to the Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
who I actually saw open for Taylor Swift like 5 years ago.
It's almost like, and this maybe is too inside Barstool, like with the Barstool Awards, remember they were only going to sell the tickets and not show it anywhere. And they're like, why don't we just make money off people buying it, like a PPV? And like, this is like their version, I guess Taylor's version of that. She's like, why not just, like, people will pay to go watch this and not the actual physical setting. So do that. It makes sense. It's a perfect way to make extra money. Not that she needs it. Fucking trillionaire at this point. But I mean, seriously, you're talking about like the level she's on right now is insane to the point where like when people leave, like what the fuck is his name, Scooter Braun, like it only elevates her status. Like people like she has like so many people in her orbit that like anything happens to them, it just elevates her. So she's just a crazy at that level of notoriety.
Yeah, no, this will be interesting to see like what comes of it, like moving forward. Like obviously other bands, other performers have done this before, but not to this level. And I'd imagine every chain is going to try and recapture this somehow. Adam Aaron, right? Adam Aaron, CEO of AMC. Yeah. He's been talking about this for a while, doing, concert releases in theaters, live sports, stuff like that. If this does well, this could seriously, and I'm assuming it'll do very well. I mean, beating out Avengers Endgame first day, that's crazy. That's 22 movies building up like to a shared social moment versus Taylor Swift saying, hey, I'm just going to drop this tour I've been doing for the past few months in theaters, by the way, and it breaking the record. So if this does what we think it's going to do, I could see a lot more of this, a lot of sports in the theater. I don't really know how to feel about it. I do feel like the movie theater is for the movies, and it's not going to be like the Marvel movies and DC movies getting pushed out. It's going to be like smaller releases getting pushed out to make room for this stuff. So
there is good and bad.
I mean, I'd go watch the Super Bowl in Lincoln Center, no question. Yeah. Like if they were airing that, I'd be there in a heartbeat with my friends.
So I actually went and saw the 2009 BCS National Championship, Florida, Oklahoma, at a theater. They were doing that year. We went and watched it at a theater, and it's fine. It was okay. But like seeing it on a crazy big screen, it would be pretty cool. I think you got to prop it up better than they did with College Bowl. They've already been talking about it with the new expanded playoff. And I think someone else is doing it. I want to say another conference might have been the SEC. Someone's talking about movie theaters and showing playoff games or bowl games or conference games there. So that's obviously going to be a thing that happens.
Lights on, phones are okay, and all that is as long as that's like part of the rules there. That's totally fine. Like you can't like try and be like, hey, don't use your got to be dark, got to keep your phones up. Like no, I think it should be like a madhouse kind of feel. You know what I mean? Like almost like you're watching in a big ass bar, and then I'd be like so
concession at the front. Like a little concession like in the theater. You know,
like a guy going up and down the stands like in a baseball game. I mean, honestly, yeah. Like it would be that'd be clutch. Are you kidding me? Like oh my god, AMC, you have $1 billion idea on your hand.
Adam Aaron, like, run Kenjack the check. Yes, I need a guy walking up and down the steps.
Dude, it is going to be this season college football. Agreement will also include each game played by teams in the ACC. Already scheduled by the Theater Sports Network. Boring. It's not Florida State's pretty electric. But then like also all the New York 6 games, national championship. So yeah. So when I saw it though, that was not the case. You also can put your phone up, but like the lights were off. I didn't see it on like a crazy big screen. I saw it at a theater in Austin that just doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, I don't know. It is very interesting. I think you curious how the sports work. The Taylor Swift thing makes.
You know what I mean? Like essentially into like you're in a section of a stadium. Like that could be like what the experience could be like in a way.
Not a huge difference between doing that and watching a game at AT&T.
Well, so the draw of the BCS title game was that it was the ESPN 3D broadcast. So it was the 3D broadcasts were much lower in the stands. They wanted it to make it seem like you were actually at the game. So like if they do something like, I mean, there's got to be an extra draw to it. Again, the Taylor Swift thing makes complete sense. Like it's not a movie, but it's still like art to an extent. It is art. It's just different than a movie. And like, the way she tells the stories of their concerts, they're very, very visual. It's a crazy concert. It's like, I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and folks, you hear about this? Taylor Swift made a deal with AMC. It'll probably be the only time she makes a deal with AMC. This lady can't seem to keep a man. Master of ceremonies.
Jesus.
For the wedding.
All right. That's pretty. That's that. I like that.
That was better than the last one, I thought.
They're both winners so far in my book.
Taylor Swift's next album is just all about AMC.
About Adam Aaron and Nicole Kidman.
Coming to Regal. Regal presents Puddle of Mud at the Hollywood Bowl, a 1 weekend exclusive.
Fuck yes.
Did you guys ever do a Fathom Events? That's a classic pre-movie. Fathom Events.
Ghibli.
Oh yes, seen
no,
it. Yeah.
No. Okay, sorry. I mean, it's usually like opera. It's like Fathom Events presents Andrea Bocelli. Like you've never seen him before. What, on a screen as opposed to in person? Yeah. Like, all right.
Always before, like in the Lincoln Center specifically. Always. It's like right after Maria Menounos. It's like Fathom Events.
Yeah.
Come see Glorpo Blorpo perform his famous opera.
It was never
Bug.
like,
and I'm like, no.
Never like Hamilton at the height of its release. It's always like, come see this off the beaten path, off Broadway show no one cares about.
No one's ever heard of.
Toy Story 5, not surprisingly, we know about this for a little while, is in the works. Some extra news and notes that came about this. The big one I do want to discuss, though, is apparently Andy is involved in this movie. He was not in the last one. He was last seen 10 years ago. Not 10, actually, maybe a little more, 11 years ago. Actually, when was it? When was Toy Story 3? 2010? Am I wrong on that?
Feels right.
Yeah, Toy Story 3 was 2010, so 13 years ago. So Andy's what? He's going to college. He's in his 30s now.
Andy's fucked.
What the fuck is Andy doing in this movie? What is Andy? Is he going to? Is he like asking for the toys back? Does he find them in a donation bin because the little girl got rid of them already because she's not playing with them anymore? Because the little girl in the movie, what's the little girl's name? And that I do forget. Bonnie.
I don't remember.
Bonnie's got to be like almost 20 now. So what's Andy doing? What the fuck is he doing in this movie? He's probably has kids. I assume that's what it is.
I don't know.
Great question.
But how's that any different than 3 is going to be my question? Because the idea of him passing them down is not that crazy to me. He's already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Woody's gone.
Let's be honest about the Toy Story franchise. They've probably squeezed the fruit dry on like what they can do. But like, I'm not going to complain if they give me more of it.
No, because 4 was good. And the longer I sit with 4, the more I like it too. Like Forky's a great character. I like that. It was like, man, I don't know how they did it. Because 3 is like as perfect of an ending to a movie as you can get. Like it's amazing. But like also Woody's gone, right? Like
he's coming back. Woody's coming back.
Yeah.
He's sick. Him and Bo got a divorce.
Just like Andy.
Andy just sitting there talking to him, just like, you fucking women, man.
There was also...
She took my kids, Woody. She won't give me visitation on the weekends.
Don't do it, Buzz. Don't take the plunge.
Yeah, she liked her toys better too, Woody.
Yeah, exactly.
They also like... There were reports on social media that were like... because since the last movies have come out... Don Rickles passed away. Don Rickles voiced Mr. Potato Head. Estelle Harris passed away, voiced Mr. Potato Head. But the reports were like, the Potato Heads are going to return for the 5th movie, like, and if they're like sentient being, like they're real people. I'm like yeah, they're just going to find a similar voice. Like that's not, not that crazy.
I mean, D. Bradley Baker is going to be voicing the fucking potato.
As long as Wallace Shawn is back as Rex, that's all we care about.
Yeah. God, I love Wallace
I just wonder what the fuck what's Andy? What if he's just they make him just a freak? Like that's the moral of the story. Like, don't be a fucking old creep. Like that's what Toy Story 5 is about. I don't know,
folks. There is only one other Woody that I know that would come on back for his child 5 times, and he directed Midnight in Paris.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Did you see? By the way, that's not a news item. He said he was going to retire. Did you see that?
Retire, bitch.
Yeah. The only difference between those 2 Woodies is that one goes limp when his kids come in the room.
Might have to bleep that one out.
No.
might have to bleep that one out.
And I warn you.
I mean,
that was fast.
Yeah. I'll just dub it in allegedly in there. I think we're good.
It's not alleged. It's true. Funny. It's a fact.
It is true. It is a fact. That's the thing.
It's like they're married.
Speaking of canceled Hollywood people, did you guys see Roman Polanski's new movie, like the reviews?
Yes.
Got a 0%.
Being called like one of the worst movies of the decade. Love to see it.
And lastly, before we wrap today, Ahsoka reactions from episode 3. We talked a little bit about it after the first 2 episodes. Again, reminder: if you have not seen Star Wars Rebels, I don't really know how you can truly love the show. It's deeply tied to Star Wars Rebels, essentially a continuation, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I like that they have these types of things for fans, and I think that there should be 2 types of Star Wars stuff released. There should be the stuff that is kind of mainstream that anyone can pick up. I think there should be stuff that fans just enjoy, like you can just dork and nerd out on. There's some things that I haven't loved about the show. I got to say, big spoiler, I just don't love getting stabbed by a lightsaber and surviving. I think that's just kind of
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think it's just a
like
fucking.
not great about that.
I think it's fine if it's like the last thing that happens in the season, but like the first like they just kind of that was a little much. But I think all of the fight stuff is fucking great. I think all the lightsaber duels are awesome. Anything involving lightsabers is great. Anything in spaces look great. Just hit me over the head endlessly with space battles and combat. Just don't stop. That's what I want more than anything. I think Ray Stevenson's character is awesome. Big rest in peace.
Really cool.
He's an awesome Jedi, but not really Jedi. Like very cool character. I mean, obviously he's no longer with us. Passed away right a couple months ago. But I think all the characters are great. I don't think the portrayals of like Hera and Sabine are awesome. I don't think they're like anything to like truly write home about. I really do like Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka still, though. I think she's great in the role. But I think overall, like I think it's a really solid, fun Star Wars show. I think that's just the kind of what it's exactly what it wants to be, I think.
Yeah, I think Sabine is a character where you can get a lot of depth out of her, and I'm assuming they're going to get more into that later and give the character a little bit more personality, because that's kind of the whole thing with Sabine is like she's the one Mandalorian that has personality and goes against the grain. She like spray paints her armor all these different colors and shit like that. But with Hera, like as much as I like Rebels, like Hera wasn't a reason I loved loved Rebels. You know what I mean? She was just kind of there and like was a very milquetoast character. So I don't know what you add to that to make it better. So that's not to say like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead could be doing better in the role, because like the source material isn't great to work with regardless. You know what I mean? So like that is very forgivable to me. Some of the other characters, again, these new characters, like you mentioned, was it Balin, right? Is the Ray Stevenson character has been awesome. Shin Hati. Oh yeah.
Is she the blonde?
Yeah. Shin Hati's, yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's cool. Very cool. That whole space battle I thought was very sick, because that's like obviously you have a lot of throwback vibes to the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff. Looked fantastic. I think all the other characters that they've brought back too, for the most part, like Morgan Elizabeth has been really cool as like the pseudo. I don't know, how would you describe her? Like, it's like she's not the main villain. She's like a shadow or like a mini boss in a way.
Yeah.
I think she's been good for that. And I've really just been enjoying everything, because there's nothing where I'm going to be like, hey, this is the best Star Wars show ever made or anything like that. But I think it has been like peak Filoniisms across the board, where it's like, hey, we got a bunch of really, really good fight sequences. The dialogue is never going to be like some over the top, like almost like Andor, where that's the main draw when you come there for a great script. But that's the whole point, is like, this is action. The narrative is through action versus it being in like very few words, which I really, really enjoy about this show so far.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it too, even as a tertiary fan of Rebels. I haven't watched it the whole way through, but I'd pick out arcs that seemed interesting to me. I'd watch through them, watch through different episodes. It seemed interesting. Just kind of watch it that way. But I do have a bit of concern for people who didn't watch Rebels. I mean, this is, you can call it Ahsoka if you want. This is an additional season of Rebels. It's what it is. If the focus was more on Ahsoka and just her storyline, I could see it being
Definitely
just an
not,
Ahsoka series. It just isn't.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It just, I do wonder like where the reaction is going to be at the end of the season when you realize, oh, this is just more Filoni's Rebels. But yeah, I liked it. I like the most recent outer space battle when she goes out on the ship. That was awesome. Her little her spacesuit with the little ear things for her.
Yeah, that's sick.
I love that. Her flipping over, like using the 0G. So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Outside of that, also one thing I did notice, Genevieve O'Reilly just not aging. They didn't age up. What's her face?
I did not. I do not understand why Mon Mothma looks the same age as she did.
I had to pause
Andor.
and like double check like the timelines because I was like, wait.
It's after Jedi.
Yes.
Why is her hair? Just make her hair. At least make her hair the same length as Jedi. I know that's like very nitpicky, nerdy Star Wars thing, but that was very weird to me. I was like, what? I was like, why does she not look like? At least make her look a little older.
Yeah, I think it doesn't
out
help.
of all the
It just
characters
came off
that we've
Andor.
seen.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think maybe the part of it might be like, out of all the characters in Star Wars that we've seen age, almost all of them have been like poor. Genevieve O'Reilly, like Mon Mothma's rich. She's got the space Botox. Like she's getting like that. What was it? The foreskin cream that you put on your face that what's her name did from Underworld. Kate Beckinsale. She's doing all that crazy shit. She's got like fucking. She's got a what's a good species of foreskin to get? Yeah, what's a good Star Wars species to get foreskin put on your face for?
At least
the Babu Frick species.
No, you're getting the
No, that at least make the hair short. I was like, yeah, all right. It was a weird, I enjoy it, but again, if you've not watched it and you're not a Rebels fan, I would highly suggest maybe at least watch Rebels before it a little bit, or watch a recap because you'll be like, what the fuck is happening here? Excited for Thrawn, counting down the minutes. Though,
yes,
we talked about this series a few months ago, and I said I saw some speculation, and I think it makes. I don't think we're going to see much of Thrawn this season. I think we get him kind of at the tail end, and that's it.
Really? Because I felt like we're heading straight towards him, like next episode
maybe.
or two.
I mean, I could be dead wrong.
Like
but the speculation seemed to say that we're not going to get much of him this year, this season. So I don't know.
Honest, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, I'd be bummed out.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty bummed.
I can't pretend that I wouldn't be very, very disappointed by that.
I am doing, like I said, a rewatch of Andor though, and I'm firmly putting Andor as the third best Star Wars things ever made, behind Empire Strikes Back and the original and the first movie. It's amazing. It's an amazing show, and deserves more praise than it got. It's just so fucking. I'm so excited for that second season.
It's still the least watched Star Wars thing, right?
I think so.
On the Disney Plus, that's just
it's definitely the toughest to connect with if you're just a regular, like if you just want like mainstream, like Mando-ish Star Wars. But it's so damn good. It's fantastic, and I'm happy that it's going to get exactly the budget that it needs. It's going to get a perfect second season that wraps it up. Like it's not going to be fucked with. Like that's like the biggest relief of them all. Because if it wasn't, it was like hinging on viewership. We're fucked. It's over. It's done. So that's that on talking about One Piece and Ahsoka. Make sure if you're watching again on YouTube, like the video if you can. It helps us out big time. We'll be back later in the week, maybe with some new trailers, some movie news as things develop, as people watch things at these festivals and so on and so forth. Maybe we'll see Thrawn. Who knows? That's it for Ken Jack and Gooch. I'm Jeff D. Lowe. We'll talk to you next time.